Coming up on the next Real Talk with the Jenkins, Goodfellow Air Force Base renames the event center after Colonel Charles Powell in honor of a past commander. And Congressman August Pfluger calls the American evacuation of Afghanistan a debacle. It's all coming up on the next Real Talk with the Jenkins.
Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Travis with Grace Transmissions. Here at Grace Transmissions, we have a reputation for customer service, and we've been serving the San Angelo area for over 45 years. Our focus is you, the customer. So whether you need a diagnostic check or a complete transmission service repair, we're here for you. Grace Transmissions, where service meets quality, and that's our #1 priority. We are here when you need us.
Grace Transmissions, 1202 Pulliam Street, San Angelo.
Christian television is here. The Gospel America channel streaming worldwide on Roku, Fire TV, and online at www.gospelamerica.net. Pastors and business owners broadcast your message or business on Gospel America by calling 203-410-6053. It's affordable and cost-effective. Call now to air your broadcasts on the Gospel America channel.
And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G.
Hi everybody, welcome to Real Talk with the Jenkins. I'm Dr. G.
And I'm Lady MJ.
And we are the Jenkins.
Well, Dr. G, Goodfellow Air Force Base recently renamed one of its buildings during a dedication ceremony in honor of the late Colonel Charles Powell, who was the commander of the 3480th Technical Training Wing at Goodfellow.
Yes, he was. And with a host of dignitaries present, Colonel Powell, Lady MJ, was credited with saving Goodfellow Air Force Base from being closed down by the Department of Defense back in the 80s. And how he did it was genius.
Yes.
What he did, because Goodfellow, as you know, was a pilot training base, but they were phasing it out. The Department of Defense was ready to shut down Goodfellow, and Colonel Powell is credited with coming up with an idea by changing the mission of Goodfellow Air Force Base from a pilot training base to an intelligence training base.
Wow.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, he really was a visionary when it came to knowing what it would take to preserve the base, because as you know, Goodfellow and the city of San Angelo are like a hand in glove, and it was vital, I believe, for this to happen. And one of the people, Lady MJ, who was responsible for the ceremony that took place recently at Goodfellow was a fellow by the name of Christopher Ashcroft, and he was one of the key organizers of the ceremony.
The theme of the event center is community and bringing people together, and we host all kinds of meetings and luncheons with military and civic leaders, and that is just thematically what the Powells are all about. That's how a lot of people thought of them. In my brief interactions with them when I worked in protocol, that was what we knew them as. And whenever we had a meeting with the civic leaders, we had the Powells there. Anytime we had an event, we had the Powells there. So it just makes sense to name the event center in honor of Charlie Powell.
We asked Ashcroft if there will be any changes in activity now that the event center has been renamed to the Powell Event Center.
No, it's going to be business as usual. We got the signage outside so people know when they drive by. We have his memorabilia on the walls outside, and that's a work in progress. And basically make it a little bit of almost like a little museum to kind of tell the story of the legacy he had from being an honorary NCO and an honorary chief, Veteran of the Year from Angelo State, just all the accolades that he received from the military, the state, and the local level. We want this to be a visual storytelling of his legacy and what it means to make those types of contributions for the people who have events here.
Well, you know, Lady MJ, I know I said it before, but I got to reiterate this because this is vital. People need to know the history of Goodfellow and why it is a vital military installation today. And Colonel Powell was instrumental in changing the mission of Goodfellow Air Force Base from a pilot training base to an intelligence training base. And as you can tell, we have drone training, we've got all kinds of intelligence, we have surveillance and reconnaissance training at Goodfellow, and all of this is done right here in San Angelo. And all of our intelligence officers in the military are trained right here at Goodfellow, and they are assigned all over the world. So Goodfellow has a powerful position in our global security today.
Wow.
And here's what Ashcroft had to say about that.
Because we know it's important for the community. I mean, this community has a fantastic relationship with the base, and part of that is because of Colonel Powell's keeping the installation here. I mean, the base has been here since World War II. Trained pilots. We've hosted a few pilots. A few Medal of Honor recipients have been stationed here. The tie that this base has with the community is very important, and it's just a matter of keeping that legacy alive, keeping that connection alive. That's all important stuff. And this is now it's a monument to that of perseverance.
Dr. G, our Congressman August Pfluger had the opportunity to reflect on the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attack on America at the dedication ceremony. Can you believe it's been 20 years?
I can't. It doesn't seem like it. It seems almost like yesterday. But then again, that it's so far. It happened so long ago that it's hard for us to imagine that. I still remember where I was. I was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, when the Twin Towers were attacked. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, look at the TV," and that's when I saw the second plane crash into the other tower.
I was at work at Deloitte.
Yes,
and everybody said we ran over to watch the TV.
And what's ironic about this whole incident, from time to time you were sent to New York and in that area to work at Deloitte's New York office.
Yes. Yes.
So
thank God I was not down there that day.
Thank God. I think I would have had a heart attack if you had been there.
Yes.
Because communications were knocked out. There was no cell phone coverage at that time.
Yes.
And it was total mass confusion.
Yes.
On so many multiple levels.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so we asked Congressman Pfluger his thoughts about 9/11.
On the eve of the 20th anniversary of September 11th tomorrow, I think I'd be remiss not to mention that at that point in time, our country really came together. We as Americans came together, probably more so than any other time in 20 years. And when I think about Colonel Charlie Powell and Joanne Powell, they not only had a vision for what Goodfellow was going to be that has impacted every aspect of our lives, especially thinking about September 11th and the intelligence, the legacy of intelligence that started in the 1980s with a vision and has expanded into what the men and women right here at Goodfellow do for our country, what you're doing by sending graduates out to every corner of this earth to keep us safe right this second, right this very second. That was a vision that Colonel Powell had for this base and what it meant.
Well, Lady MJ, Republican Congressman August Pfluger, who is our representative for District 11, says the American evacuation of Afghanistan was a debacle. We'll hear more about that in a moment.
Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages.
Christian television is here. The Gospel America channel streaming worldwide on Roku, Fire TV, and online at www.gospelamerica.net. Pastors and business owners broadcast your message or business on Gospel America by calling 203-410-6053. It's affordable and cost-effective. Call now to air your broadcasts on the Gospel America channel.
My name is Travis with Grace Transmissions. Here at Grace Transmissions, we have a reputation for customer service, and we've been serving the San Angelo area for over 45 years. Our focus is you, the customer. So whether you need a diagnostic check or a complete transmission service repair, we're here for you. Grace Transmissions, where service meets quality, and that's our #1 priority. We're here when you need us.
Gray's Transmissions, 1202 Pulliam Street, San Angelo. And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G.
Well, you know, Lady MJ, Texas Congressman August Pfluger has been quite vocal in his criticism of the Biden administration's immigration and foreign policies. And of course, he was not afraid to talk about the evacuation of Americans in Afghanistan.
Well, it's been a complete debacle. As I stand here at Goodfellow Air Force Base and honoring the life and legacy of a wing commander, Charlie Powell, and his wife Joanne, you think about what it means to serve. And having served myself and being in a room full of servicemen and women who have been willing to give the ultimate sacrifice at any point in time in their career, to know that our government has left people behind, willingly left Americans behind enemy lines. Now that we see a Taliban government that is full of cabinet level positions of terrorists, proven terrorists that are on our watch list, it's very shameful to see that playing out. And to put our trust into the Taliban, to put our trust into folks that have demonstrated a resolve to attack America on the eve of 9/11, it's incredibly shameful. And there needs to be accountability for what has happened.
Well, Dr. G, Congressman Pfluger says that Americans have not learned from our past.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't seem to learn any of the lessons that we saw in Vietnam. And, I think that you look at the heart and soul of our military, and they know that it's in our ethos. It is part of our ethos and our values. It's intrinsically part of who we are as Americans to not leave anybody behind. So to have the Commander-in-Chief leading our military in such a way to give the American people the sense that we are going to leave people behind, I don't know that you can change that heart of one person. I spent yesterday touring the World Trade Center Museum, the 9/11 Museum, and what I saw was a fire truck, and it's crumpled up inside the museum. And this fire truck represents the first responders' ethos, very similar to the military, where when people are running out of a burning building, they were running in. And even if they were only going to get one more person out alive, they were going to do everything they could. And in fact, many of these folks on Ladder 5 gave their lives. They gave their lives to get one more person out. And that's the heart and soul of America. And I'm calling on President Biden and Secretary Blinken to reverse course, to make sure that we get folks out, that we don't put our trust in terrorists, that we do it ourselves.
We asked Pfluger what changes need to be made so that what happened in Afghanistan will never happen again.
It's very shameful to see that playing out. And to put our trust into the Taliban, to put our trust into folks that have demonstrated a resolve to attack America on the eve of 9/11, it's incredibly shameful. And there needs to be accountability for what has happened.
Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Travis with Grace Transmissions. Here at Grace Transmissions, we have a reputation for customer service, and we've been serving the San Angelo area for over 45 years. Our focus is you, the customer. So whether you need a diagnostic check or a complete transmission service repair, we're here for you. Grace Transmissions, where service meets quality, and that's our #1 priority. We're here when you need us.
Gray's Transmissions, 1202 Pulliam Street, San Angelo.
Christian television is here. the Gospel America channel streaming worldwide on Roku, Fire TV, and online at www.gospelamerica.net. Pastors and business owners broadcast your message or business on Gospel America by calling 203-410-6053. It's affordable and cost-effective. Call now to air your broadcasts on the Gospel America channel.
Broadcasting worldwide to every nation, this is the Gospel America Television Network. Broadcasting to every nation on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at gospelamerica.net.
The Gospel America Television Network is a worldwide streaming Christian television network based in our beautiful city of San Angelo. It's similar to TVN or Daystar. We produce local programs like Real Talk with the Jenkins that airs Saturday morning at 8 on Fox West Texas. We produce TV commercials for companies, corporations, and community organizations. Gospel America is dedicated to our community. Since our debut broadcast in August of 2018, we have donated video production and free airtime for the Chamber of Commerce, the San Angelo Police Department, the Alcohol Drug Abuse Council of the Concho Valley, better known as ADAC, the Food Bank of San Angelo, and many others. We continue to demonstrate our support because San Angelo is our home.
You can watch us on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at gospelamerica.net 24 hours a day. Download our app from the App Store or from Google Play to watch us on your smartphone or tablet. To watch on your TV at home, add us to your Roku, Apple, or Fire TV channel lineup. What's really amazing is that advertising on our network gives you an affordable and cost-effective way to reach your audience here in San Angelo, across the nation, or around the world. Not only are we a streaming broadcast network, but we are a complete production studio, creating videos for companies like Angels Care Hospice, Shannon Healthcare, and Gray's Transmissions. So when you're ready for a corporate presentation video or to advertise, call the Gospel America Television Network at 203-410-6053. And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G.
On another issue, Dr. G, what is your take on the Biden administration's handling of COVID-19?
Well, Lady MJ, and I don't know how to really put it except just to come right out point blank and say we've got to have some common sense when it comes to COVID-19. I've never seen so many people across America that just act absolutely irresponsible and ridiculous. The Biden,
Dr. G, I understand that there are people that don't want to take the vaccination because they don't know what's in it and what kind of effect it's going to have on the body. But there is nothing that's going to happen to you if you just wear a mask. You're wearing a mask for other people that feel uncomfortable. That if you do have COVID-19, that you won't spread it to the other person.
Absolutely. And it's being considered. We need to be more considered not only of ourselves, but of others. And certainly one of the most simplest things that any of us could do is to wear a mask. And those of you that are watching the program, you may not agree with that.
Yes.
But there are some people that need to hear this. Because now we've been dealing with COVID for over a year. And we now have the data that shows how effective the masks are, how effective the vaccines are. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to see another person lose their life over foolishness such as, well, I'm not going to wear a mask.
Well, my whole thing of it is if you don't want to take the vaccine, then at least wear the mask.
Yeah, you should wear the mask and keep social distancing. And it's kind of hard sometimes to do all of that just by nature of where we go. Grocery store, to the church, to those that go to sporting events, etc. But one of the things I want to emphasize is that recently in the news, the Biden administration got tough on its vaccine policy by stating that all federal workers must be vaccinated. Now, some people don't like that because that's the government, big government telling you what you've got to do. But President Biden says that all federal employees, the military and all federal employees must be vaccinated. And there's no option. It's not like, okay, well, if you're not going to get vaccinated, go get tested.
At least wear the mask.
Yeah, well, no, he's saying.
I know, that's what you said. There's no option there.
He's making it clear. If you're not going to get vaccinated, don't expect to keep working for the federal government. And so he took the gloves off. He started off being Mr. Nice Guy. No, I don't want any mandates and da-da-da-da. Well, people didn't listen. People didn't respond. And the COVID numbers kept increasing. Hospitals are overrun by COVID-19 patients. And regular people that are sick with other diseases or illnesses can't get the treatment that they need.
And they're dying.
So many COVID people are in the hospitals. And it's absolutely unnecessary. And again, recently we had a guy right here in San Angelo lost his life to COVID because he didn't want to wear a mask. And that's sad. Here's a family right here in San Angelo that's without a father, without a husband, all because he didn't want to wear a mask and was under the impression that the government was forcing him to wear a mask, and he's going to prove, I'm going to show the government you can't force me to wear a mask. And today, he's no longer with us because of his viewpoint. Well, and guess what? His wife is still wearing a mask.
Yeah. But you also got to think about when we were teenagers, okay? And our parents were strong about something that said, you can't do this. Once they say, you can't do it, immediately rebelled.
Of course, because we have in America, I don't know where we got this from, I don't know, but as soon as you're told, no, you can't, then your attitude is, oh, yes, I am.
Yes. You're not going to tell me what to do.
No, you can't. You're not going to tell. So we have this arrogance about us that we don't have to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick my neck out on the line and say something here that maybe other people haven't heard. You know, the Israelites were in captivity for over 400 years in Egypt. And God sent a plague called the death of the firstborn. And before the plague came, God gave Moses instructions to tell the Israelites, get a male lamb his first year without blemish and kill it and eat it as a Passover. And take a hyssop and sprinkle the blood on the two side posts and on the lintel. That's the top beam. And God said, when I see the blood, I'll pass over you. They were instructed to eat the lamb, to go in their houses, shut the door, and wait until God finished doing whatever he was going to do. Now, imagine if the Israelites disobeyed God. I ain't got to eat no lamb. I ain't got to go in my house. I'm going to stand outside and see what's happening. They would have died too. And here God is speaking to all of us today through the federal government. The voice of God. See, the powers that be are ordained of God. I'm not trying to preach on the show today, but I got to just say this. The powers that be are ordained of God. Why is it so difficult for all of us to humble ourselves and be obedient to those who have the rule over us? We don't want to do it because we don't want to be told what to do. And unfortunately, God is using the government to tell us how to protect ourselves, how to protect our lives. Okay?
It's so obvious in New Orleans. How many years ago was they had that big
the hurricane?
The hurricane.
Oh, Katrina?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot what year it is.
What?
We have to look that up.
But what I was going to say, the government was telling the people to leave.
Yep.
Because a storm was coming. Leave. Look how many people stayed and lost their life.
Many people. And I got to tell you, I used to work for FEMA, and I wasn't there during Hurricane Katrina. I came after that. 5 years after Katrina, they still had a mess in New Orleans and surrounding parishes. It was terrible.
Yeah, but people had to go rescue people because they didn't want to leave, and now they're stuck, and they lost their lives.
Yep. And unfortunately, somebody being hard-headed and disobedient, disrespectful, and prideful, not only they lose their lives, but they cost other people to lose their lives. How many family members have died because one family member refused to get the vaccine, refused to wear the mask, whatever the case may be? Sad, very sad situation. And I want to say this, that not only did President Biden crack down on federal workers and government contractors that work with the government, but also employers across the country. Private industry is now saying, private employers are now saying, if you don't get vaccinated, you will no longer work here. And so inadvertently, we are being told you have to get this vaccine. And it's just sad to see so many lives lost. And my final thought about this is that the people that are dying now are not older people, not sickly people. They're children. And children are losing their lives because some parents believe that they know what's best for their child, and they refuse to let their children wear masks. The mask mandate thing has been a big debate issue for months. Okay, and there are going to always be people that don't want to do the right thing. There are going to be people that don't want to wear a mask. There are going to be people that don't want the vaccine, but their failure to do what's right will cause somebody else to lose their life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is unacceptable. And those are my thoughts about that.
I hear
As
you.
far as Gump said, and that's all I got to say about that.
I hear you, Dr. G. But, I do hear the other side, too. But we got to stop looking at when somebody says you can't do something, to rebel against it. Even when sometimes it's the right thing to do, but just because they say you have to do it,
you're going to say, no, I don't have to do it.
Yes.
Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages. And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G.
We're out of time. So we want to certainly thank all of you for tuning in and joining in with us. And we certainly thank our sponsors. And I'm just so grateful that we have people that love to watch Real Talk with the Jenkins. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We'll see you next time. You're watching Real Talk with the Jenkins. I'm Dr. G.
I'm Lady MJ.
And we are the Jenkins.
Broadcasting worldwide to every nation, this is the Gospel America Television Network. Broadcasting to every nation on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at gospelamerica.net.